Welcome back to Light Talk, where everyone can be themselves and tell their own unique spiritual and paranormal and supernatural stories and experiences with a safe and supportive community. If you have a story you would like to share, email me at lighttalk423@gmail.com. And while you're at it, click on the like, share, and subscribe buttons. All right, we're just going to jump right into it today. Today's going to be very casual. We're just going to have a great time today. So let's get started. So we're going to welcome our guests. So welcome back. Go ahead and introduce yourself and we'll get started.
Oh, Dana, I'm so excited to be back here with you and with this lovely community. My name is Diane Haworth. I'm a heart-centered success coach, an author, a teacher, and I am the founder of the Be Love Principles. And this is my second visit here, and I am just thrilled to be able to talk to you about what's going on as we're recording this.
Yeah, I mean, we've got some crazy stuff going on. You were just saying that you've had people calling you about what's going on that you haven't talked to for a while. And I know I've just been in this real funk. It's just kind of like, oh, it's low vibes. It just feels like a lot of low vibe around me. So it's like, this would be a great time to say, help, what do we do?
Well, just to be totally transparent, as Dana and I were talking before we hit record, I literally fell out of my chair, like literally. Things are just topsy-turvy for all of us. And I'm fine, by the way. But it's just this, it's really indicative, isn't it, about this time of upheaval. Nothing that we, certainly people of my age, grew up to expect exists in the same way before. Our political landscape is different. Our family relationships could be strained or different. There are many people in my community that are facing significant health issues. There's just this uncertainty that we haven't experienced in this way before. The world is always going through changes, we know that, but not like what we're going through here. So I think one thing that has happened is people are reaching out to others as a way to feel more grounded. If we can't depend on this, anything in our outside world, what can we depend on? And for me, that answer is always alignment to that internal truth of who you are, the internal, eternal truth, the part of you that cannot be hurt. I do want to say this part can be screwed up, nervous, stressed, overwhelmed, right? That's human.
Yep,
But
that is
this
human. Yeah.
core of who we are, the more that we can relax into that, that's really been helping me. What about you, Dana? How have you been coping with this kind of energy?
I feel like I'm having a harder time meditating. Um, but I'm trying to get more under control and more focused. It's been just kind of like really busy in family life, work life. I just feel overwhelmed. So I know I need to get into more grounding, more me time, more higher energy surroundings. That's kind of where I'm at right now. And that's what I'm working towards because it's like something's got to change.
You're voicing what I've heard and what I felt for a while now, certainly in this year of 2025 when we are recording this. One of the things that has been comforting to me is to go back to my practices. If everything else is topsy-turvy and I can't really depend on anything outside of me, I can depend on my dedication to my practice. Whether that's meditation, journaling, walking in nature. For me, it's working with the Be Love Principles and, of course, in Miracles. And I do want to say that, I've had times where the meditation just is not flowing the way it used to. It's been different.
Yeah.
I noticed that my body is asking for different kinds of foods. So maybe part of this is really paying attention as we're fine tuning who we are. What is our vibration going to be like in this new energy? And how can we contribute? How can we recognize what we're going through? Because I don't know about you, but I don't think it's healthy to pretend, right? Like, oh, everything's
Oh
fine.
no.
No, it's not. No,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's not.
Something's not right. And
It's
yeah,
not normal,
we
is it? It's not
no.
we're used to. The status quo is changing in all kinds of things.
And it's funny that you say that it's the energy that's changing, because that seems to be the key phrase here lately, is that because I have the ringing in my ears.
I've heard that.
Um, I've been having clicking in my ears for the past since February 25th. I've
Mhm.
had some strange stuff happening since then. And that is the key phrase, is that the clicking and the ringing is rising to a next vibrational level. And that's what I've been hearing a lot of here lately. So I'm hoping that's it.
Well, it's, certainly I'm not a doctor. If somebody has a health concern, go get it checked out. But
Definitely.
I have been hearing people with weird headaches and feeling
Hmm.
tired all the time. I'm not a scientist, but I understand the Schumann resonance is off the charts, that there are real energetic activities on our planet. I mean, on the planet itself that are very different. And I bet you've heard the way I have, people are talking about, well, how do I bring more light how do I bring more light to my family, to my friends, to my work, to the world? And I think that one of the ways to do that, there's lots of ways, and we can do one today actually, but one of the ways is to recognize perhaps the gifts from the darkness. I was talking to my little 8-year-old grandson this weekend, and he's like in a little science phase, and he loves to talk about bugs and dinosaurs and dirt, stuff like, 8-year-old boys do. And we were talking about light. And I said, if you take a flashlight and you go outside in the middle of the day, you don't really see the light because it's just with all the other light. But
Hmm.
if you go into a darkened space, then you remember the light is there. And I'm wondering
Yeah.
if this is perhaps an opportunity for us to reconnect to that light that's always there and remember we are here, not only to shine the light, because I believe it's more than that. I believe we are light. And again, I'm
Yes.
not a scientist, but we are light beings. We are light beings. So maybe
Mhm.
thinking about what is my part, what's my what is my part to play in this scene as it is playing out, not just in the United States, but all over the world, right? It's not like we're
Right.
the only ones that are having some issues, by the way.
It's an earthly thing.
Yeah, it is an earthly
Yeah.
thing. But what if
Yeah.
I brought, instead of trying to fight the dark, what if I just played with how do I bring more love to the dark? To me, love and light's the same thing. How do I bring more love to the dark without having to carry my fear, or at least maybe for me, it helps me manage that fear a little bit, just to think, this is a way of contrast. The world, right? This is a place of contrast for us. And for us to know that we're able to shine light, there probably has to be a little darkness.
That was well said. Very
Yeah.
well said. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of what I've been hearing. I mean, the last couple of days I've been hearing different things, and you pretty much hit on a lot of them that I've been hearing the last few days. So it's like I'm almost like, have you been with me?
Well, since we're all one, yeah, technically.
Yeah. Like you're hitting on all
Technically.
these things that's been
Yeah.
kind of speaking with me the last few days. And that is just really, yeah, heading into the darkness. Um, reclaiming yourself in that darkness. Like, okay, yes, we have our dark sides. Yes, we have our inner child. And now it's time to reconnect with them and help them out and raise ourselves to the light, raise the energy from this new lesson and raise it higher.
And just to just connect perhaps.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that really speaks to me when I think of it that way. And as far as the physical things, again, I'm not a doctor. And I know that when I personally have had what I call energetic downloads, like when I got the Be Love Principles, for example, I was sick for a week, physically sick. I lost my voice and I was sick. And I have heard from many, many people when there has been profound shifts, energetic shifts, it takes the body a little bit to catch up. And since everybody, literally everybody, every physical body is different, that very well may manifest in different ways. So to be gentle with ourselves, to do our best as much as we can to get rest. I know a lot of people have been struggling with sleep. That's been me the last couple of days. To be properly hydrated, to really do our best as best we can to eat really nutrient dense foods that can help our energy and really fuel us. That's one thing I've noticed throughout my life. I'm from the South, so come on, macaroni and cheese, that's my go-to, right? Just bring on more cheese, more butter, let's go. And it's not that I've given it up, but I notice that there's been a shift to much, much, much more proportion of just fruits and vegetables. Now I'm already a vegetarian, but macaroni and cheese, you can't get in as a vegetarian.
Meat and potatoes. Meat and
Yeah,
potatoes, gotta have that. Now
yeah.
with a little vegetable added in, but yeah.
I'm not saying that I know everything, but it's my
Right.
understanding that there's certain blood types that need meat protein. That just doesn't happen to be the case for me. But understanding, I know that I'm not craving cookies or candies or things like that. I mean, it's just that's not a thing for me. Um, and I notice how that changes my physical energy. And I'm wondering if we're all being invited to just take a look. Okay, if I want to connect to this light and the light is in this physical body, how can I best support this body, which this is our flashlight, right? I mean, if this is housing the light in this go round at life, this, how do I love and nurture this as well at the same time connect to this? Does that make sense?
Yeah. 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 It always gets with me because it's so deep, but yet it's so on top. I mean, it's so level, but it's so deep. It just always catches me. It just catches me all the time.
Yeah, you are, because our human mind thinks, okay, I got to
Hmm.
read 20 books. I need to get a certification. I got to have like 100-point checklist and I got to do all this stuff. And then I'll be enlightened. I mean,
No.
my personal thing is I think we're already enlightened. We just have a lot of ego stuff we got to move aside. We have a
Yeah,
move aside, really.
I
We
can
just
see
move
that.
that aside. And
I
we
can
all
see
have
that.
it. We
Hmm.
all have it. We all have our stories, and mom did this and dad did that. And, I had this bad breakup in seventh grade, which was what, 50 years ago. Whatever our story is, that is still keeping us in a constricted place. That's not who we are. We're here to be more expanded, I think. To me, when you connect to love, and you've had this experience, I bet, in meditation, when you connect to what I call love, universe, God, spirit, whatever you want to call it, there is this sense of expansiveness. You don't put God in a little jar and
No.
say, stay in there. It's intelligent, creative,
Yeah.
and expansive. Look at nature, right? Look at
Yeah.
nature. So I'm looking out, I live in the woods and I'm looking out here and I'm seeing, even though, we're coming out of winter right now, there are still these signs of new little trees that have come up in the woods. Now I didn't plant them. They're just natural. It's starting to spread. It does what it does.
Right.
It
Right.
does what it does.
And when you're saying that, I'm looking at my background there and looking at the vastness of the ocean and just how far it just goes and goes, and you can't even see the other side. And on the edges of the land, you have all of these trees that are just growing, and it's just the vastness of the animals that are there. Some places we've been at, they have all these monkeys, and it's like it's just you're right. And the sky, you're looking at the sky in my picture here. It's like the sky. I mean, how far out does the sky go? I mean, there's
Our human
so
minds
much
can't
light.
comprehend.
No,
Yeah.
no, so much light to give. And where's the darkness?
And it comes every 24 hours. We have a cycle, right? But
Right.
we always have the dawn. We always have the dawn. And what I love about what you just shared is the water, the sky, the coastline, all the little animals that you talked about, the trees, they all embody light. They all embody light, and they're all here to shine and contribute in their own way, just like each one of us. Dana, I don't know if you agree with this, but I feel really strongly that if you're on the planet right now, if you're seeing this, whenever you see it, rather you're seeing it now or 5, 10, 20 years from now, you're supposed to be here. You are part of the light that is shining a new world into existence.
Yep.
I really believe that. Yeah, we're here. And sometimes we get
Yeah.
confused, well, what can I do at my age or what can I do at this? There's always, you're here to be the light of love. That's kind of your deal. And that can be anywhere.
And I think
Smile
that's
at your
really,
neighbor. Could be anything.
yeah. And I think that's really fun to say because in my household, we have this kind of rule of you have to be unique, you have to be yourself, you have to be your authentic self, because if not, you're not you. I mean, I don't know how else to say that. You're not you. And if you're not you, you're not happy. And if you're not happy, how can you raise the vibration? How can you send that love elsewhere?
That is amazing. I wish everybody could grow up in a house like that. I talk about flavors of love. When I was a little girl, there used to be an ice cream place and there was 33 flavors and you would go in and 33 flavors of ice cream. And
Right.
to me, love is love, but you have a flavor and I have a flavor and those little animals have a flavor. And that's good because not everybody likes the same flavor. So we, so we need,
Exactly.
we
Exactly.
need, we need
I
all
have
these
a,
flavors of love.
yeah. And I have this neighbor. She's fantastic. I love her to pieces. And she comes over and she's just like, oh, Dana, I could come over here and be myself. I don't have to worry about nothing. I go, this is the house for it because that's who we are. And we love to have the authenticity of each and individual that comes into this house. And it makes it a happy house.
What a beautiful picture and what a beautiful invitation to everybody who listens. How could, because I'm going to take this to my heart. I want to thank you for it. How can I make this house uh, welcome so that everybody who comes feels their authentic self feels welcome? They feel safe because a lot of it's about safety, right? They
Mm-hmm.
feel safe to be their authentic self, which
Yep.
doesn't mean you get to be a jerk, by the way, but it just means that's that's not what I'm talking about. But yeah,
Yeah.
you get to explore and ask questions. And Dana, tell me about this weird podcast you do. I don't get it. I want to understand more. I mean,
Right.
how this whole thing is because of your gorgeous curiosity and your heart of service to share what you learn. How cool is that?
Yeah. And it's just a place where you can have an opinion too. You don't have to, and we're not going to argue about it. I mean, it's just like, okay, well, you like this and you like that. Well, that's fine. I'm not so up on it, but it's okay. It's It's
Well,
okay.
yeah, and
You
opinions
can,
change. What I thought five
yeah,
years ago, I
exactly.
don't, sometimes what I thought 5 minutes ago, right? But if you're in an
Right.
environment where it's safe to evolve,
Mhm.
it's safe to say, I don't, I used to think this way, but now I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how else to think.
Yeah.
To me, those are also invitations to go in here. Because one of the things I do know about the light, the way I've experienced it, is up here is where I have the judgments, like well, I'll tell you what you should think. That's here.
Right.
That's not here. That's not in the core of who I am, because there I remember that I am loved, treasured, and adored, and everyone is with me. Everyone is in the light with me. I think it is so amazing that love comes in different shapes and sounds, and some have fur and some have feathers, and some look like you and some look like me and some don't, and we eat different foods and we sing different songs. How amazing is that? It
Yeah.
really is. There's so
Yeah.
much to celebrate. And I think one of the things that we get to do is bring that kind of wisdom to the light, to say, hey, look, yeah, a lot of us do have some agree we'll just say points of contention. And
Yeah.
we all want the same things. We want to be loved, and we want people, places, things, animals to love. That's
Right.
it. We
Yeah.
just have a different flavor of the way we think maybe that should be. But we all want the
Yeah.
same things. We all
Yeah.
want the same things.
We're all in the orchestra, but we're all just playing a different instrument.
Some
We're
of
all
us are
playing the same.
off key. We got the wrong music, maybe. And that,
And it- it's
what's
okay.
really, not only is it okay, sometimes that leads to this weird, chaotic creation of the new.
Yes.
Okay, Dana, you did something, because I got goosebumps, girl. So you did something. So what if this weird, chaotic orchestra we're in is creating some new music that none of us have ever sung before?
Well, how do you think music evolved? I mean, think of like the 18th century or the 17th century. I mean, it's all what you would call the classical and strictly instrumental and all of that. And now you're getting into everything's electronical, and it's like, then you have the king of rock and roll. Then you have Elvis. I mean, he changed everything. And then you have country, you have rap, you have pop, you have, I don't even know what else out there, but everything
Everything.
blends out. And we're all here. We all have our different music that we're listening to. And yet we're all alive and we're all human and we're all looking for, like you're saying, the love. We're all looking for that.
That's so
Mhm.
great that you said that, because music is a specific vibration. I was just with a friend today,
Yeah.
and we were talking about podcasts that we liked, and music, and what to meditate to. And one of the things that she said that I was really surprised by, this friend, by the way, was that when she was really stressed, she would put on Gregorian chants. Now, this is the last person in the world that I would think would even know what a Gregorian chant was, much less would be using them. And it really taught me, you think you know your friends, you think you know what they like. It's lovely to be surprised. And I was surprised, pleasantly surprised, but it's just lovely when we connect with people, we can surprise each other. Have you seen this? What about this music? And that idea
Yeah.
of the different vibrations of music. I love the Australian didgeridoo. I can't say it right, but you know what I'm talking about. The indigenous music from
Yeah.
Australia, or the Native American music. It's just
Yeah.
so earthy and grounding. And when I find
Yeah.
myself so much up here, those drums really help ground me. So, yeah, that's a
Yeah.
different vibration of love, isn't it?
Yeah. And you're talking drums and that sort of stuff. I love to listen to the steel drums.
Oh,
when
girl,
we go on our trips, it's like, oh, steel drums. Oh, I could listen to those all day. I
I
love
don't think
them.
I'm not sure I have the right name for this, but there's a pan music with the enclosed drums that I will listen to. It's
Yeah.
just,
It's
yeah, it
amazing,
speaks
huh?
to my soul. It does. It speaks to my soul.
Yeah. And the music I listen to that I like to listen to is more of the older music, 80s and whatnots. But anyways, I like the music that has the true instruments is what I call it. It's like you're the ones you have to actually go through many years of learning how to play it, not just going off a computer screen and saying, "Oh, let's throw this in there." What it's probably more to it than that. But I like the ones that you have to actually play: a clarinet, a trumpet, a drum, a saxophone. I was a flute player, so it's things that you have to learn. That's the kind of music I like because it has um what's the wording I want to use? Integrity, I guess, is the time that you put into that instrument shows. And that's
It,
what I
it
like.
it's another well, to me, that is, my son was in the band and in marching band and in concert
Yeah.
band. Um, and when I remember the dedication he had to the instrument and the dedication he had to the band,
Hmm.
right?
Right.
You didn't want to let your buddies down. You
Right.
had to know your piece. You had to be ready for a concert. You had to be ready for whatever it was. That is another kind of love. And they're all so fascinating. People have love of
Hmm.
art, love of writing. I love to
Hmm.
teach.
Yep.
Um, yeah, it's just, I think that's another way we bring light is what is it that you love to do in service to others? I love to teach. I love, love, love to teach.
Me too.
It's just, yeah, it's just so much fun. And
It is.
as much as I love to be in front of a live audience, which I do, I appreciate that we live in a time where you and I are thousands of miles apart and we can talk and
Yeah.
teach because of technology.
Exactly. Exactly. Technology is awesome in that sense. And that's another step in our growing and bringing our vibrations up through this because there'd be no way I probably would have been anywhere near speaking to anybody um, except for through this podcast at this point in my time.
Or you
And
couldn't speak to as many
just
people in the diverse locations unless you were always on a plane. Except I think we would just
exactly.
come to you because it sounds like you hang out at the beach. So maybe we would all try to come see you.
Yeah, my husband and I, we try to go on some trips to the beach and we live in the mountains, or we're not in the mountains, but close enough to the mountains where we try to go camping and everything too. So we love our nature. We love
Yeah.
it.
I think that's something that people are finding the light in nature. I mean, you can see I've got wooden things around me. There's that's called the angel oak behind me. I've got other tree themed things in this room. Um, nature teaches us so much, like the way the trees communicate and support each other and support us. That's why in Japan they have forest bathing, right? That's like you can get a prescription to go forest bathing. Have you ever heard of that?
I have not.
It's really interesting. Now, that is something that people in the cities, right? They live in literally in concrete, they walk on concrete. There's not a lot of nature. And what they found, and lots of folks, especially the people that are going to be listening to this, know this. When you are in nature, your physiology changes. So in some of these cities, they will, in Japan is where I heard about it first. They will actually say you have to spend an hour a week, I don't know, in the park or whatever they have. And they just could note over time how it positively affected blood pressure and even cholesterol and things because they just have this grounding, one thing I love about nature is you don't feel judged. I have never had a squirrel say, "Ooh, you look too big in those pants." Never once, right? You just not. You're just
No.
there. You're
Yeah.
just there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
it's
I love it.
wonderful.
It's to me, it's like a grounding, you know. I've got this one spot now that when I meditate, I go to that one spot. It's on the river. My feet are in the river. I've got the beautiful mountain on the other side of the river. I've got a meadow on the other side. It's just everything right there in that one little spot. I love it.
Wow.
It's
And
beautiful.
once you go there in person, you can go there in person or you can go there in your mind, right?
Exactly.
Because
Hmm.
there are people who cannot physically go somewhere for whatever reason. Um, one of the meditations that I have been doing lately, actually, is one that I learned from my mentor. And I will shut my eyes and I will say to myself and envision, I am light sitting in light. I am light sitting in light. I'll do that when I wake up and I do it as I'm falling asleep. And it just really helps clear. Just really helps clear. To me, it's really very relaxing.
I'll have to try that one. Yeah.
Yeah, I am
Light
light
sitting
sitting in
in
light.
light. Yeah. I could feel that one.
Yeah.
I,
Yep.
I do a lot of sitting in the power. I try to do a variety of things really, but sitting in the power, balancing my chakras,
Yep.
um, working on now periodically I'll pepper in some eclairs,
Mhm.
working on the clairs, peppering that, and at night I listen to my music. So
Yep.
it's the music meditation going all night for different
Uh,
things, and I just love it all.
I think that's really important that you're mentioning all these flavors of meditation. And sometimes, you need to switch up your recipe.
Hmm.
Yep. You just need to do something a little different. So that's so wonderful. And I would really encourage people to have a variety of meditation tools. And one of them may just be go out and take a walk without your
Yeah,
phone, or at least put your phone on silent in your pocket. Um, don't be talking to your friend. Just walk. Just
just there.
walk.
Yeah. At work, I have this tree that I like to sit under or up against, and I do a
Mm.
meditation if it's nice out. um, so I just sit there and meditate and just take a deep breath, ground,
I found trees to be so generous.
Yeah.
If you ask to share their energy, and years ago, one of my kids was in college and they were having a rough day. And this was when they were a freshman. And I said, "Where are you?" And they said, "Well, they're walking in this park." And I said, "Go hug a tree." "Mom, I'm not going to hug a tree. I need you to go up, at least put your back on the tree and
Right.
just
Hmm.
settle yourself." Um, and they were amazed. So from then on, I would get texts, "I'm on my tree. I'm on my tree." Yeah, it's just
Nice. Nice.
so supportive and loving. And it just reminds you, right, that you are part of nature. It's easy to forget that when we're in our homes and we got our clothes on and we're on Zoom all day.
Yeah.
We're, yeah, we're just hurtling through space on a little speck of dust, right? That's
And that's how I got started with the tree hugging too, is we do volunteer work at this camp nearby. And we had one of the people up there mention to me, because she's kind of into this a little bit. And she goes, Dana, go sit up next to one of the trees. Just go sit next to a tree. So I did that. And when I came back, it's like, man, I did it and my back got all warm. It was cold outside. I had blanket and everything else on top of me, and my back was all warm and hot and everything. And her son was working at this camp, and she looked at her son and looked at me, and he's like, she got it. I'm like, yes. So now it's like I try to find these trees when I can and kind of sit next to them. And,
Yep.
I
And
even
have
have one in
them
my backyard.
have art, have wood around or whatever resonates. I mean, most of us have right? We've got stones and things like that. Um, but yeah, having a little piece of nature with you inside that you can hold or see, or
And my
yeah,
feathers.
there you go. Mine's over there. Mine's over there,
All
but I
my
have one.
feathers. Yeah.
Yep,
This is
but
the
I have
one.
one.
This feather here I found as I was walking away from my mom's funeral. There was
Oh,
a tree there, and this feather was just at the bottom of the tree, and it was in the about this time. Oh, I'm sorry. What month are we in? We're in March now. Yeah, it was around this time that she was buried, and I saw that feather, and so now this feather is with me. You know.
well, you know that's your mama.
Oh, I know. I know. I knew that as soon as I saw it. It's like, up, mom's here. This
Yeah,
is from
just I'm
her, a
okay.
gift.
Yep, I'm
Yeah.
okay. That's another thing. We can
Mm.
get so many beautiful messages and whatever, yeah, I tell my clients, don't doubt it. Don't try to go, does this mean this or that? No, what's the first thing that came to you? That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah. Yeah. And to kind of go with that, since she's passed and everything, I have all of my shirts that I wear on my podcast is from her. They're all her
Oh,
shirts. So she's always with me, really.
how wonderful is that? I got my mom's picture right there, actually.
Yeah.
Um, it's yeah, it's really it's a lovely way to recognize and honor that continuous thread of love.
Hmm.
Love doesn't
Yeah.
doesn't end because someone's physical body leaves. It doesn't mean we
No.
don't physically grieve because we do, but the
Right.
love never leaves,
Yep.
you
I
know.
actually have a salt lamp right here too of hers. Yeah.
That's amazing. That's
So
amazing.
yeah, she's
Oh, that's
always
great.
around. And it just kind of makes that complete circle of, they're always with us. They're always bring the light into us. And we are light. So the light comes into us from our loved ones. So we sit here and we expand the love back out to all the living humans. So, I mean, it makes that complete circle. Isn't that weird? Isn't that cool?
It's just it's hard to get your brain around, like your human brain.
Yes.
But if we're all light, we come from light, we go back to light, right? Then
Mhm.
your mom, my mom are fractals of that light, right? Just in a different place. That's it. It's like in the ocean behind you when they talk about a wave will come up in the ocean and you can see the wave, but then it flattens out. It's still there, but it's gone back into the ocean.
Yep.
That's it. That's
Yep.
it.
That's it.
That's it. Yep,
Yeah.
that's it.
It's awesome. It's awesome. This stuff I could talk all day about. It's just fantastic and just mind blowing at the same time. It's
It's
just
fun and
crazy.
it's so important to have places like this to talk about it. So I really want to honor you and your commitment to this podcast because if you all out there, I know you're enjoying these podcasts, but you don't know the work that goes into it. It is a lot of work and this is really a
Yeah.
labor of love. And I just wanted to really thank you for having people
Thank you.
like me on here and for doing sharing your love and light through this venue because it's a lot of work. It's a lot
Yeah,
of work.
it's a lot of work, and I do this kind of on my downtime. I do work a full-time job, and then I come home and I have about 4 hours to do another 8-hour job for doing this. So it's kind of like a short window, but it's been so much fun. I love doing it. Um, I just have so much fun, so much fun. I mean, searching out, I've met so many people, so many fantastic, wonderful, loving people. It's just I have a list coming in, and it's like I want to keep that going. So I'll just put it out right now. So if you have any stories you have to share or know of anybody that has any experiences with the paranormal, supernatural, spirit, anything along this line, absolutely contact me. Light Talk 423 at gmail.com. And click on the like, share, and subscribe buttons down below. And let's rock this. Let's raise my subscriptions too. That'll help us all out too. So yeah. But thank you again so much for being with me and helping me raise the energy, because it takes not only me, it takes all of you out there to raise this. It'd be hard to do it by myself. So you guys are the main point of all of this. I mean, it's not just me, it's all of you out there. So thank you.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
And thanks to you. Thanks to all of you. And yeah, I hope you all feel the love that surrounds you now.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm going to leave it at that. I'm getting chills going through me. So there we go. I hope we'll see everybody again next time, and enjoy your time. All right. Send the love out there. Got it? Send the love. All right. Bye, everyone.